Hi guys, this is Jonathan Lambert with the Mathematics Development and Support Service at the National College of Ireland, and this short video, another video in our series of videos dealing with coordinate geometry of the line, is going to try to present the rationale or try to motivate, provide a motivation for where we get the midpoint of a line segment formula from. Okay, so in this particular video, we're going to concentrate on how to calculate the coordinates, or how to develop a formula that allows us to calculate the coordinates of the midpoint of a line segment. In the video after this I'll do a particular example. Okay, I suppose the first thing that I would like to do is I'd like to maybe just create a line segment in a coordinate system. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create an x-axis along here. Okay, this is my x-axis, and I'll just develop a y-axis along here. So this is my y-axis, and I'll just give some coordinates. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll label them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the positive x direction. And let's just go out to -1 over here, and let's go up to 1, 2, 3, 4 here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's just go down to -2 maybe here. Okay, -1, -2. Okay, so I have a coordinate system. And let's say, for argument's sake, that I have 2 points in that coordinate system. Let's say I have a point here, point in space. This point is actually at position 2, 1. Let's call this point A. Okay, and let's say I have a second point. Okay, and the second point, let's say, for argument's sake, is at the coordinate 4, 4. Okay, so this is the point. This is the point B. So what I effectively have is I have a line segment. I have a line segment between A, B. Okay, so I have a line segment here that's at its extremities are the points A and the points B. And I suppose the question I really have is this, is that when we know the coordinates of A and when we know the coordinates of B, so the coordinates of A in this case are 2, 1, okay, so they're 2, 1, and the coordinates of B in this case is 4, 4, okay. So when we know the coordinates of A and when we know the coordinates of B, can we find the coordinates of the midpoint of this line? Okay, so can we find the coordinates of some midpoint in here? Let's call this some midpoint M. Okay, and in general, if we have coordinates of 2 points, x1, y1, and x2, y2, okay, can we use them to develop a formula that allows us to calculate the coordinates of a particular midpoint of a line segment? Okay, so what I want to do first of all is the way this is actually, there's many ways to actually prove this. I mean, we could present it as a theorem first of all. I could tell you that let's say theorem that let's say that the midpoint, okay, is given by x1 plus x2 over 2, and the second coordinate and the second item in it is, let's say, y1 plus y2 over 2, and show that that's actually the midpoint of a line segment. I can present a theorem, or we could look from a geometry perspective, and I think the geometry perspective is probably a little bit better. Okay? But it requires a term from geometry. But so let me just present this to you. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to create a triangle. Okay, so I'm going to extend a line through A parallel to the x-axis. Okay, so I'm just going to extend a line through A parallel to the x-axis. Okay, and I'm going to just extend it through, and technically that line goes all the way out in this direction and all the way out in the negative direction. And I'm going to extend the line through B, the point B, parallel to the y-axis. Okay, well actually I'm going to construct this line segment through B that's parallel to the y-axis that comes down, that meets this particular point here. Okay, so what I have is a triangle now created. This is a right angle triangle. Okay, triangle AB, and we could call this point here the point C. Okay. Now, there's a theorem, I suppose there's 2 theorems, well there's many theorems in geometry, but there's one particular one called the Midsegment Theorem. Okay. And what the Midsegment Theorem tells us, okay, so the Midsegment Theorem tells us, okay, it tells us this. I won't write it down. I won't write it down in English. I'll just draw a triangle so that we can actually rationalize this. So we could have any triangle. Okay. So here's a triangle here. Let's say A, B, C. Okay, and what the mid-segment theorem tells us is this: is that if we connect the midpoints of any 2 sides, okay, so let's say this is the midpoint here of this side, the side AB, and let's say for argument's sake that this is the midpoint here of side BC. Okay, that if we connect the midpoints of any 2 sides, okay, so I'm just going to connect them. Okay. Okay, so we connect the midpoints of any 2 sides, that this segment, okay, that we've produced, okay, is always going to be parallel to the 3rd side. Okay, so this segment here is going to be parallel to this side here. Okay, let's look at another triangle. Okay, let's say the triangle is something like this here. Okay, something like this. Okay, so what the mid-segment term tells us is that if we, let's say this is A, B, C, that if we find the points, the midpoints of two